Good morning, students. This is Latif sir. In this video, I'm continuing the chapter 4 chemical kinetics of class 12 chemistry. Last day, I have told what is order, what is molecularity, and based on order of a chemical reaction can be classified in different classes like first order chemical reaction, second order chemical reaction, zero order reactions. Okay, so last day I have told suppose A plus B to P is a chemical reaction. Okay, and the rate of the chemical reaction is rate is equal to rate constant into concentration of A, which is written within square bracket, to the power alpha, and concentration of B to the power beta. Okay, so here the sum of concentration term, that is alpha plus beta, is known as order of the reaction. Alpha plus beta is equal to known as order of the reaction. Okay, and this reaction is alpha ordered with respect to reactant A, and beta ordered with respect to reactant B. That is, order of the reaction with respect to A is alpha, and order of the reaction with respect to reactant B is beta, and overall order of the reaction is alpha plus beta. Last day I have told, and based on the order of chemical reaction are different types: first order, second order, third order, okay, zero order, like this. So first, today I will discuss about pseudo first order reaction. Pseudo first order reaction. So what are these pseudo first order reactions? Some chemical reactions which are seems to be uh, second order reaction, but actually they are first order reactions. Some chemical reactions which are seems to be second order reactions, but actually they are first order reaction, and this type of reactions are known as pseudo first order reaction. Example of pseudo first order reaction: hydrolysis of ethyl acetate. Hydrolysis of ethyl acetate, CH3COO C2H5 ethyl acetate. Hydrolysis means reaction with water in presence of acid catalyst, that is in presence of H plus, to form acetic acid and ethanol. This reaction, this is the hydrolysis reaction of ethyl acetate. This reaction seems to be second order reaction, because rate of the reaction, you may think that rate of the reaction will depend on the concentration of both acetate ion and concentration of both, concentration of ethyl acetate and concentration of water. Okay, but the rate of the of this reaction is actually dependent on concentration of ethyl acetate, not on the concentration of water. This is because in this reaction the concentration of water is very high. So you can take the concentration of water as a constant. Okay, so in such type of pseudo first order reaction, one reactant present in very excess quantity. In such type of pseudo first order reaction, one reactant molecule is present in very large quantity, and the change in concentration of that reactant is very negligible. That's why you can take the concentration of this reactant, which is present in very large quantity, as a constant. So in hydrolysis of ethyl acetate, concentration of water remain constant. So you can take the concentration of water and K prime as a new constant, which is written as K. Okay, so hydrolysis of ethyl acetate is a pseudo first order reaction. In pseudo first order reaction, one reactant, that is in this case the one reactant is water, one reactant present in large excess. Okay, that is, if in a chemical reaction, in a binary chemical reaction, is one reactant is present in very large excess, then the reaction becomes first order reaction, not second order reaction, but it seems to be second order reaction. Okay, one more example of pseudo first order reaction is given: inversion of cane sugar. Inversion of cane sugar is another pseudo first order reaction. cane sugar means C12H22O11 plus water in presence of H plus, that is acid, in presence of acid, to give glucose and fructose. Okay, that is, this is hydrolysis of cane sugar. Hydrolysis of cane sugar in presence of acid. This is also first order reaction. This is because in this case concentration of water also, the water is present in very large amount, so concentration of water is very high, so you can take the concentration of water as a constant, so rate will depends only on the concentration of concentration of cane sugar. Okay, so the reaction become first order with respect to cane sugar. Okay, so this reaction, you may think that this reaction are second order reaction, but these are actually first order reaction, and such type of first order reaction are known as pseudo first order reaction. Now zero order reaction, if the rate of if the order of a chemical reaction is zero, then the reaction is known as zero order reaction. Okay, suppose uh, R2P, reactant to product, R2P is a zero order reaction. Zero order reaction means that the rate of the reaction is proportional to the zero power of the concentration of reactant. Okay, zero order reaction means the rate of the reaction is proportional to the zero power of the concentration of reactant. For example, R2P, let R2P is a zero order reaction. So how to write the rate of the reaction? R is rate of the reaction, R is equal to minus dr by dt. Rate is equal to minus dr by dt is equal to rate constant into concentration of reactant to the power 0, because as this reaction is 0, that's why zero order reaction, that's why I have written rate of the reaction is equal to minus dr by dt is equal to k into r to the power 0, where 0 is the order of the reaction, and within a square bracket r means concentration of reactant. Okay, and you know r to the power 0 means 1, so rate of the reaction becomes minus dr by dt is equal to k into 1. Okay, and now integrating this equation, on integrating this equation we get R is equal to concentration of R reactant is equal to minus Kt plus integration constant. I is integration constant. Okay, and I know that you have already done the integration in class 11. Okay, so this is simple mathematics. Integration of this integration of this rate law equation, differential rate law equation, this is differential rate law equation for zero order reaction, and on integration, on integrating this equation we will get the integrated rate law equation. Okay, so after integration the equation becomes R is equal to, within square bracket R is equal to minus Kt plus I. Okay, where I is the integration constant. Now at time is equal to 0, when time is equal to 0, it indicates initial concentration of reactant. When time is equal to 0, then the concentration of reactant R become R0. When time is equal to 0, then concentration of reactant becomes initial concentration, that is R is equal to R naught or R0. Okay, so now put the value of, time t is equal to 0, and concentration of R becomes R naught or R0, so the value of integration constant I is equal to R naught. Okay, and after substitution of the value of integration constant I, we get R is equal to concentration of reactant R is equal to minus Kt plus R naught, or you can also write uh, K is equal to R naught, K is equal to R naught, that is initial concentration of reactant minus concentration of reactant R divided by T. This is the integrated rate law for first order zero order reaction. K is equal to R naught minus R by T, where R naught is the initial concentration of reactant and R is the concentration of reactant at time T. Okay, concentration of reactant after time T. So this is the integrated rate law equation for zero order reaction. Simple mathematics I have done here. Okay, so you have to integrate the equation. differential rate law equation for zero order reaction, and you will get the integrated rate law equation. And this is the integrated rate law equation. Here it is also given K is equal to rate constant is equal to R naught minus R divided by T. Okay, and the graphically you can show the variation in concentration of reactant with time for zero order reaction. For zero order reaction, we know that R naught is equal to R is equal to R naught minus KT. Okay, so according to this equation, R is equal to minus KT plus R naught, and this equation similar to equation of straight line. So if you if you plot the concentration of reactant with with time, you will get this type of diagram or plot, where concentration of reactant will decrease with time, okay, with negative slope. Okay, you will get a straight line. If you plot a graph concentration of reactant versus time, then you will get a straight line with negative slope, and this is for zero order reaction. Okay, and one example of zero order reaction is given: ammonia to nitrogen and hydrogen gas, decomposition of ammonia in presence of platinum catalyst. When ammonia gas is heated above 100 130 Kelvin temperature in presence of platinum catalyst, ammonia gas will decompose to give hydrogen gas. Ammonia gas will decompose to give hydrogen gas and nitrogen gas. And for this reaction is zero order reaction. Okay, and you can write the rate of this reaction. Rate is equal to K into concentration of ammonia to the power 0. So this is a zero order reaction. Now see first order reaction. First order reaction A to P is a first order reaction, first order chemical reaction. Okay, so here order of this reaction is 1, so you can write the rate of this reaction R is equal to minus dA by dt is equal to K into concentration of A to the power 1. This is because 1 is the order of this reaction. Okay, I have already told that this reaction A to P is the first order reaction, so you can write rate of the reaction is equal to minus dA by dt is equal to K into concentration of A to the power 1. Okay, and you know last day I have told the order unit of rate constant for first order reaction is 1 by time, that is 1 by second, or 1 by minute, that is second inverse, minute inverse, hours inverse. This is the unit of rate constant for first order reaction. Now this is the differential rate law equation for first order reaction, and on integrating this equation we will get integrated rate law equation for first order reaction. So now see integrated rate law equation for first order reaction. Okay, just you have to integrate this differential rate law equation for first order reaction. We know that for first order reaction minus dA by dt is equal to K into concentration of reactant A. Now on integration, on simple integration, we will get ln AT by A naught is equal to minus KT, where A naught is the initial concentration of reactant when time is 0, and AT is the concentration of reactant A at time t. Okay, okay, so when time is 0, if when time is 0, then if the concentration is A naught, and at time or after time t, if the concentration remaining concentration of reactant is AT, within a square bracket A and T, which represent concentration of reactant A after time t, then you can write on integration this equation become ln AT by A naught is equal to minus KT, or you can also write AT by A naught is equal to e to the power minus KT. Simple mathematics. Okay, so the for first order reaction the equation becomes integrated rate law equation becomes AT, that is concentration of reactant after time t, is equal to A naught, that is initial concentration of reactant, into e to the power minus KT, where K is the rate constant and T is the temperature test time. Okay, so this is, if you draw a plot concentration of reactant versus time, you will see that concentration of reactant will decrease exponentially. Okay, the concentration of reactant will decrease exponentially. Okay, this is for first order reaction. And concentration of zero order reaction decreases in a straight line with negative slope. This is for zero order reaction, concentration versus time graph. This is for zero order reaction. That is, for zero order reaction, concentration of reactant decreases linearly with time. So the integrated rate law equation for first order reaction becomes AT is equal to A naught into e to the power minus KT. Okay, on further rearrangement, this equation becomes ln A on taking log ln on both sides. The equation becomes ln A is equal to minus KT plus ln A naught. On taking ln on both sides, very simple mathematics I am doing here. Okay, just I am rearranging the equation. Okay, and now if you draw a plot ln A versus time, then you will get a straight line like this. This is ln A versus time plot for first order reaction. Okay, the negative slope, a straight line, you will get a straight line. If you draw ln A versus time plot for first order reaction, you will get a straight line with negative slope. And on further rearrangement, the integrated rate law equation, which is the most important rate law equation, integrated rate law equation for first order reaction, is K is equal to 2.303 by T. K is equal to 2.303 by T ln. After converting ln into log, to K is equal to rate constant of the first order reaction is equal to 2.303 by T log A naught by AT, where A naught is the initial concentration of reactant and AT is the concentration of reactant left after time t. Okay, and you can also write this equation like this: K is equal to 2.303 by T log A by A minus X, where A is the initial concentration of reactant, small is the initial concentration of reactant, and suppose x amount of product is formed, then concentration of reactant at after time t will be A minus X. A is the initial concentration of reactant, and suppose x mole of product is formed, then concentration of reactant left after time t is concentration of reactant left after time t will be A minus X. A is the initial concentration and A minus X will be the concentration of reactant after time t. So you can also write the equation like this: K is equal to 2.303 by T log A by A minus X. Very important equation. You have to solve some numerical problem based on these equations. Okay, so now see half-life period. Half-life period. What is half-life? Half-life period, the half-life of a reaction is the time, is the amount of time, or the half-life of a reaction is the amount of time takes for the concentration of reactant to decrease to one half of its original value. That is, at half-life time the concentration of reactant become half of its initial value. At half-life time the concentration of reactant become half of its original value. Okay, so you have to calculate the half life for first order reaction and half order reaction first order reaction. Okay, we know for zero order reaction the integrated rate law equation is K is equal to, we know that for zero order reaction the integrated rate law equation is K is equal to R naught minus R by T. Now we know that at half life time the concentration of reactant become half of its original value. Suppose half-life time is t half. At half-life time t half, you can write concentration of reactant, that is R, become R naught by 2. R naught by 2. Okay, where R naught is the initial concentration of reactant and R is the concentration of reactant after time t. And at half-life time, that is when and t is equal to t half, when time become t half, then you can write concentration of reactant R is equal to R naught by 2. Okay, so for zero order reaction, the equation for half life become R naught minus R naught by 2. When t become t half, then you can write R concentration of R as R naught by 2 divided by K. So on further rearranging this equation, t half for zero order reaction becomes t half becomes 2 R naught, 2 R naught by 2K. For zero order reaction, the half life time for zero order reaction becomes t half is equal to R naught, that is initial concentration of reactant, by 2K. So from this equation you can see the half life time for zero order reaction is dependent on initial concentration of reactant. For zero order reaction, half life time is dependent on initial concentration of reactant. Okay, and the equation for calculation of half life time for zero order reaction is t half is equal to R naught by 2K. Okay, so remember that at time t is equal to t half, you can write at time t is equal to t half, when time becomes half life time, you can write concentration of reactant R is equal to R naught by 2. Okay, this is the condition you have to assume here. Okay, and now we have to calculate half life time for first order reaction. For first order reaction, we know the integrated rate law equation. The first order reaction, the integrated rate law equation is K is equal to 2.303 by T log A naught by AT, or you can also write T is equal to 2.303 log A naught by AT. Okay, and at time T is equal to T half, you can write concentration of reactant AT at time T half, concentration of reactant will be A naught by 2. Okay, when T become T half, the concentration of reactant will be A by 2, A naught by 2. Okay, so after rearranging, you will get the equation for T half, that is for first order reaction, T half will be equal to 0.693 by K. 0.693 by K. This is for uh, first order reaction. Equation for calculation of half lifetime for first order reaction. Very important equation. You have to solve some numerical problem based on this equation also. Okay, so just how to calculate the half lifetime for a first order reaction, just put the value of concentration of reactant A or AT as A naught by 2 when T becomes T half. When T becomes T half, you can write concentration of reactant A as A naught by 2. Okay, and after solving this equation, we get T half is equal to 0.693 by K. That is, in half life for first order reaction is independent on initial concentration of reactant. Half life for first order reaction is independent on initial concentration of reactant. Now see temperature dependence of a chemical reaction. Temperature dependence of a chemical reaction. Temperature and rate of reaction, and Arrhenius equation. And it is generally found that per 10 degree, for every 10 degree rise in temperature, the velocity of a chemical reaction become double or triple for per 10 degree rise in temperature. Okay, and this is known as temperature coefficient. Suppose Kt plus 10 is the rate constant at temperature T plus 10, and Kt is the rate constant at temperature T degree Celsius. Then if you calculate the ratio of Kt plus 10 divided by Kt, you will find a value that 2 to 3. That means rate of the reaction will become almost 2 times or per 10 degree rise in temperature. Remember that. And you can state the actual or exact relation between rate constant and temperature by using Arrhenius equation. The Arrhenius equation is that K is equal to A into e to the power minus A by RT. where K is rate constant, A is known as frequency factor, A is known as frequency factor, and T is capital T is absolute temperature, and EA is known as activation energy. EA is the activation energy for the reaction. A is the activation energy, A is the frequency factor, okay, and T is absolute temperature, R is universal gas constant. Okay, and now if K1 and K2, if K1 and K2 are rate constant at temperature T1 and T2, if at two different temperature T1 and T2 rate constant are K1 and K2, you can rearrange this equation by taking log on both side. After taking log on both side of this Arrhenius equation, and if at temperature T1 rate constant is K1, if at temperature T1 rate constant is K1, then you can write ln K1 is equal to ln A minus EA by RT1, and if at temperature T2, if rate constant is K2, then you can also write ln K2 is equal to ln A minus EA by RT2. Okay, we get this relation from Arrhenius equation. K is equal to A into e to the power minus EA by RT. After taking log on both sides, it becomes ln K is equal to ln A minus EA by RT. And for two different temperature, if at temperature T1 and T2, if rate constant are K1 and K2, you can write ln K1 is equal to ln A minus EA by RT, and ln K2 is equal to ln A minus EA by RT2. This is for same chemical reaction at two different temperature, rate constant will be different. Okay, and after further rearrangement, we will get this equation, very important equation. Log K2 by K1 is equal to EA by 2.303 R 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. This relation shows the relation between uh, two different temperature and rate constant at two different temperature. And using this equation, you have to calculate activation energy of the reaction at any temperature. You can calculate, okay, or you have to calculate rate constant at temperature T2. So very important reaction, you have to solve some numerical problem. Now again rearrange, see, this is Arrhenius equation, okay, and on taking ln on both side, it becomes ln A is equal to ln K is equal to ln A minus EA by RT, I have told. And now if you plot a graph between ln K versus 1 by T, ln K versus 1 by T, ln K versus 1 by T, you will get a straight line with negative slope. This is ln K versus 1 by T graph, very important graph. Remember that this is ln K versus 1 by T, where K is the rate constant, and the slope is negative, which is equal to minus EA by RT. Okay, and from this slope you can calculate the value of activation energy for a particular reaction. Okay, so the slope of the reaction gives the value of activation energy, and intercept, from this intercept you can calculate the value of frequency factor. Now see, activated complex. What is activated complex or transition state? Activated complex or transition state. Okay, activated complex is the highest energy unstable intermediate between the reactant and product, and gets decomposed immediately to give the product. So activated complex is very unstable compound, unstable substance, which is formed by the combination of reactant. Okay, and activated complex is the highest energy unstable intermediate between reactant and product, and this is the activated complex, high energy complex. Okay, and in this state, in activated state, bonds of reactant are not completely broken, while the bonds of product are not completely formed. This is a intermediate, it is a intermediate transition state, and the energy of this activated complex, which is written as ET, this is the total energy of this activated complex, and up to this energy level is the energy of reactant, and this height is the energy of product. Okay, and this entire energy gap is known as threshold energy for the reaction. Okay, now see what is threshold energy. Et is the, this is the Et, the minimum amount of energy, which the reactor must possess in order to convert the product in order to convert the reactant into product is known as threshold energy. And from this graph, this energy gap or difference is known as threshold energy. Okay, and activation energy, what is activation energy? Activation energy is this energy difference is known as activation energy. Activation energy. So activation energy, the additional amount of energy required by the reactant so that their energy becomes equal to the threshold value is known as activation energy. The additional amount of energy required by the reactant so that their energy become equal to threshold energy. Okay, and this is known as activation energy. So you can calculate the activation energy for a reaction by this using this equation. Ea is equal to Et minus Er, where Er is the initial energy of the reactant. Okay, to convert the reactant into product, reactant into product, first reactant molecule have to cross this energy barrier, then reactant will be converted into product. Okay. And this energy difference, this extra energy reactant molecule have to gain during this chemical reaction, and this extra energy is known as activation energy. Okay, so activation energy is the amount of energy required by the reactant so that their energy become equal to the threshold value, and lower the activation energy, faster will be the reaction. Lower the activation energy of a reaction, faster will be the reaction. And different reactions have different rate because their activation energies are different. Okay, and activation energy is constant for a particular chemical reaction, and activation energy does not depends on temperature, volume, pressure, but activation energy gets affected by catalyst, by presence of catalyst. So activation energy can be changed by catalyst. Okay, and based on uh, energy values, chemical reaction are two type, exothermic and endothermic. This is for exothermic reaction, this graph, and this is for endothermic. In case of exothermic, energy of reactant is higher than energy of product, that is energy of product is lower than energy of reactant in exothermic reaction. While in exothermic reaction, energy is released, this amount of energy will released after the reaction, and in endothermic reaction, energy of product is higher than energy of reactant. Energy of product is higher than energy of reactant, so this amount of energy will be absorbed by the reactant during the this chemical reaction. Okay, so based on energy value, chemical reaction are two type, exothermic and endothermic. For exothermic, the reaction potential energy versus reaction progress graph is like this, and for endothermic reaction it will look like this. Okay, potential energy versus reaction progress graph. Now see role of catalyst in a chemical reaction. Role of catalyst in a chemical reaction. A catalyst, a catalyst is a chemical substance that alters the rate of a chemical reaction without itself undergoing any permanent chemical change. Just catalyst increases the rate of reaction. And how catalyst increases rate of reaction? The catalyst in a chemical reaction, catalyst provides an alternative pathway or reaction mechanism by reducing the activation energy. In a chemical reaction, catalyst reduces the activation energy of the reaction. In absence of catalyst, the activation energy of the reaction was this height was the activation energy of the reaction. Okay, but in presence of catalyst, the activation energy of the reaction reduced, and this will be the activation energy for the reaction in presence of catalyst, this height. Okay, so catalyst provides an alternate pathway or reaction mechanism by reducing the activation energy between the reactant and product, and hence lowering the potential energy barrier. Okay, so catalyst increases rate of reaction by reducing the activation energy of the reaction. Okay, now see collision theory. What is collision theory? Collision theory tell us how a chemical reaction occur. Okay, so according to collision theory, the reactant molecule are assumed to be hard sphere, and reaction is postulated to occur only when molecules collide with each other. Okay, so for a reaction, collision between the reactant molecule is essential, very essential. Okay, now number of collision per second per unit volume of the reaction mixture is known as collision frequency, which is represented by Z. Z is the collision frequency. If number of collision per unit volume per unit second is high, then the collision frequency of will be high. Okay, another factor which affect the rate of the chemical reaction is activation energy. You know that activation energy affects the rate of reaction. So two important factor can affect the rate of chemical reaction. One is collision frequency and another is activation energy. Okay, so for a bimolecular elementary chemical reaction A plus B2 product, we can write the rate of reaction is like this. Rate of the reaction will be equal to Z. Z means collision frequency into e to the power minus A by RT. It is similar to Arrhenius equation. Rate of the reaction will be equal to Z into e to the power minus A by RT. Where is the activation energy? Z is the collision frequency. Okay, so, and e to the power minus A by RT, e to the power minus A by RT represent the total number of molecules possesses the activation energy EA at temperature T. Okay, so e to the power minus A by RT represent the total number of molecules possess the activation energy EA at temperature T. Okay, but you have to remember all collision are not effective. All collision will not lead to the formation of product. Only few collisions are effective collisions, that is they will lead to the formation of products. Okay, so the collisions, you have to know what are effective collisions. The collisions in which the molecules collide with a sufficient kinetic energy called threshold energy and proper orientation, so as to facilitate breaking of bonds between the reacting species and formation of new bonds to form product are called effective collisions. So collisions in which molecules collide with sufficient kinetic energy and proper orientation, so as to facilitate breaking of bonds between reacting species and formation of new bond to form product are called effective collisions. Okay, so one more important term for chemical reaction to occur is proper orientation of reactant. Activation energy, frequency factor is these two factors are very important, and one more important factor for chemical reaction to occur is proper orientation of reactant molecule. Okay, the proper orientation of reactant molecule lead to the bond formation, and improper orientation of reactant species makes them simply bounce back and no product are formed in improper orientation of reactant species. For example, one example is given when methyl bromide is treated with sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, you will get methanol and bromine. For this reaction, the proper orientation is this, and improper orientation is look like this. In improper orientation, OH minus is coming from the front face of the substrate of the reactant, that is just in front of Br. So due to repulsion, there will be no product formation, no bond formation, and in proper orientation, OH minus coming from the back side of Br. Okay, OH minus enter into the carbon atom and Br minus will remove from the carbon atom. So this will lead to formation of OH and carbon bond. Okay, so activation energy, collision frequency and proper orientation is essential condition for a chemical reaction. This is according to collision theory. Now to account for effective collision, another factor P is called probability factor or steric factor is introduced. Okay, and it takes into account the fact that in a collision molecule must properly oriented. So rate of reaction after correction becomes rate of reaction is equal to P, that is probability factor, which is related to proper orientation of reactant molecule. So rate of the reaction is equal to P into Z into e to the minus A by RT. So thus in collision theory activation energy proper orientation in collision theory activation energy proper orientation of reactant molecule together determine the criteria of effective collision, hence rate of the chemical reaction. Okay, so this chapter is completed. Students, you have to solve some numerical problem based on first order rate or law equation, and based on this equation log k2 by k1 is equal to e to the power minus log k2 by k1 is equal to a by 2.303 r 1 by into 1 by t1 minus 1 by t2. Very important relation. You have to solve numerical problem based on these two equation, first order rate law equation and this equation. Okay, thank you students.